You're listening to the Impact Implosion on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
It is October 20th, 2016. It's another episode of the Impact Implosion here on the Angry Marks Podcast Network. As always, I'm Seth Drake, and on the other end is the American Express to my state of Tennessee, Mr. Mike Poland.
Yes, fantastic. And on that note, we got news.
TNA.
This is what happens when you give a moron a checkbook.
Last week, we talked about the Billy Corgan situation and the situation with Audience of One Productions.
Oh,
Turns out that
God.
wasn't all. Turns out we only scratched half the surface because the state of Tennessee filed a lien for TNA because they owe money.
Good God. How long have they owed that money, I'm curious?
And then it gets even better because they owe American Express money. Yes.
This is what happens when you give morons a checkbook and a credit card.
Yes. They owe a credit card company money.
Oh, God.
So, yes.
TNA.
I'm going to look up how much they owe.
Oh, God. Add the TNA's troubles.
Yeah. How much do they owe with American Express? Come on. TNA. American Express. For unpaid bills. Let's see. They owe $269,049.50.
Dear Jesus.
Yes. For costs. They will also ask for legal fees as well if they win for legal expenses.
Oh, boy. The death of this company
Yes.
is a thing of beauty.
Oh, yes. God, TNA,
How much money do you need to lose?
do you need to lose?
How much money did WCW lose in its final couple years before they actually...
Well, they lost a lot, so let's not get into TNA.
They lose more than TNA or less.
A lot more. But apparently, TNA is $3.4 million in debt.
Dear
Based on everything.
God.
Based on
Who's
everything.
the worst promoter, Dixie Carter or Paul Heyman?
Paul Heyman at least had good ideas, but businessman Paul probably was a worse person. Although, to be fair, both were terrible. Dixie was still missing checks, even when TNA was doing well on Spike. So there was still that issue. So both are
Who's
terrible.
the bigger carny?
Dixie probably is a bigger carny. She will pay for celebrities.
Yep.
Like the one time she paid $100,000 for JWoww to show up.
I was gonna say, I wonder how much she played back in the days when she was bringing Johnny Fairplay in.
I have no idea, but yeah, that was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
So also, TNA found
JWoww money to take one bump.
and TNA found life support for the Billy Corgan suit with Fight Network or Anthem Sports and Entertainment, who runs the Fight Network. So
Until they missed their first check with them.
yeah, they're getting paid by them for this taping and for the next taping, which will be in January.
January 4th through the 10th. Dear God, those poor people that will go to that taping.
And apparently Anthem is going to try to pay off Billy Corgan so he can stop his lawsuit. Although Billy Corgan is rich, so he might not accept the money. He might not accept the money being lied to. He is the kind of guy, personally, he does not take shit well. being screwed like this well. And he has been screwed. So yeah, this company, we'll be alive for now until next year sometime.
I give them about until March.
At some point, Dixie's going to get to the point where she's going to be tax evasion and go to jail. It's just sad. It is.
Running the company from prison, Dixie Carter.
Well, there ain't going to be any company from prison. At that point, you're done. You're going to have to sell it to somebody else. And her parents ain't going to save her this one.
No, didn't they,
Yeah, they gave up a long time ago.
They cut her off a while ago.
Yeah, they washed their hands of this whole shit. So, you get to the point where you just don't think Dixie is just stupid. She's a con artist. And she probably has learned that from the various people she's associated with, like Hogan, Vince Russo. Yeah, you can con your way. Bischoff, you can con your way into shit.
Yeah, but at least, like, in Bischoff's case, he was actually somewhat competent businessman.
For the first part. He was only competent as long as he had Ted Turner's money.
Yep.
So
she should have never trusted Russo. She should have never trusted Hogan.
Don't trust anyone. You should have never trusted Gaborik, who's still going to probably now be the head of booking again, even though, yeah, he tried to sell you out.
Yeah, he wants to go back to WWE.
He tried to sell your library from under you, which probably now the other company own, which I believe the Fight Network will probably own now.
I'm curious how much that library would actually be worth at this point.
It's worth a lot, actually.
Really?
It's worth more than the company itself right now.
That's sad.
Yes.
Your video library is more than you.
I think that's the truth. With the debt right now, the library is worth more than TNA itself. Because because of what it has in it. It has stuff from Sting, AJ Styles, Roderick Strong, Austin Aries, Samoa Joe, Christian Cage. Let's see, other wrestlers, Hogan, Bully Ray, Devon, the Hardys, the freaking Broken Hardys. So yeah, it's worth more. So, since we gotta continue, we still have a show to do.
Dear God.
Yes.
This is actually a decent show.
It is. It actually is a show I gave a high C to. I almost gave it a B. But
high C, you're making me thirsty.
I know. Like, if I could give C pluses, I'd give this a C plus, but I don't give C pluses, So anyways, the show opens with Cody Rhodes, and he has a slower version of his theme. By the way, the slower version sucks.
Yes, his theme is good. His theme is good.
His theme
Not
is
this
good.
version.
No.
Oh.
I don't know what they did. They lights out, Cody comes back. He talks about one of the moments he left his employer for competing for the world title. Yep. And then he tells a story about when he was 15 years old and he first told his dad that he wanted to be a pro wrestler. It's actually a good promo when he says, okay, but only if you're the best. You gotta be the best.
Mm-hmm.
And the best means the world champion. He cuts this very passionately. And then Eddie Edwards comes out, and Eddie basically, you're going to look at two guys, and you really can tell which one's the better talker, and it's Cody. It's sad.
Yep.
So, Cody cuts a passionate promo that is going to be sad when he loses the world. So it is going to be sad, because he's losing it, because he's not a full-time TNA guy. He's going to be gone in tapings. He's just here for this tapings, and not even to finish this tapings. He left I think next week is his last week.
Yeah.
And yeah, so his wife's going to be there, but not him. He's going to be going to Ring of Honor and do some shit there.
Probably jump to Jay Lethal, but
Yeah. So Eddie asked the dumbest question he could ask of Cody.
Oh God.
I forget what it was he asked, but it was like, do you know who you are? Do you really know who you are? And he's like, well, he did a Ric Flair style promo. Giant beaten, whatever.
Randy
Krillin. Yeah, and he's like, oh, but you'll find out later tonight when I beat you. And Eddie says, that's not when, but if. And he's here to prove that he deserves to be here. And if he needs to beat Cody to do that, he will do it. So out comes Franklin. And of course, he basically says he's going to beat whoever wins this match. He's going to destroy him. And then here comes Moose. And there's a beware of attack Moose sign. And I said, hey, we aren't in the New England area or Canada. So no Mooses are going to attack us.
Yep, that is correct.
So then we begin Moose versus Franklin, and a much anticipated matchup since Moose's arrival, the Curtain Jerker. Sure, why not?
Oh boy.
And TNA tries to sell us on the Fight Network app, and I'm like, yeah, the only reason you're selling is because they're keeping you in business. And Moose did a really nice dive here over the ropes.
Moose is an agile guy for a big guy.
Yeah, he is. He's learned a bit. But there was one stupid spot, and that is Bobby Lashley gives Moose a superplex. And Moose no-sells it like he's Hulk Hogan and spears Franklin.
I no-sell your superplex, brother.
You're like, yeah. I'm like, dude, what the hell? So, anyway, Franklin ends up winning the match with a spear off the second rope and becomes number one contender. And then JB is talking to the Tribunal because they have a tag title shot tonight. And as they start talking, the feed gets cut off by DCC Death Council, who says Chaos will arrive tonight. By the way, we might also have to mention they use the original TNA intro, not the Billy Corgan one.
Yep.
Because I think they're going to delete Billy Corgan from the situation.
He'll fade away and classify himself as obsolete.
Obsolete! So, yes. Then we get a Fixer commercial. Child Services has yet to be called.
God.
He still haven't shown
I can't take Tyra seriously. Well, we'll talk about that later when he has the segment with Shera. But
okay. Then it's time for Fact of Life, and Josh is now doing the intro. I like Eli Drake doing the fake intro.
Yes,
Eli Drake completely has a fake applause and a fake laugh track.
He's Jay Leno.
And for the first part, that's the highlight. Because here comes Aaron Rex, and Aaron Rex cuts the fakest speech ever. But Eli Drake says, you know what? What you did to Jesse Goddard? You did the right thing. And Eli Drake says, like, Eddie Edwards is the world champion, but I beat him at Bound for Glory, so that makes me better than him. EC3, yes, has failed. And Jesse Goddard, basically does that. So, yeah. Aaron Rex wants the button, and Eli says, you got to get it on special order. And apparently there's an app now where you can get it for 99 cents.
Oh, I'll have to find that.
Yeah. You go to Eli Drake's Twitter page, he might have the link to it. Because, yes, the dummy yeah button. So EC3 interrupts, and he wants to get Eli Drake's ass, but Eli Drake has security, and he says, hey, we're going to break. And then we get the Eli Drake technical difficulties, which is Eli Drake's top half of his face at his bottom half of the face, acting like it's a freaking South Park character.
My God, you killed Kenny.
Yeah, looking like it's a South Park character. It's awesome.
And then we come back.
And EC3's in the ring. And he's going to destroy that $63 set. I'm going to take a big EC2 on it.
Oh, God.
It says, and challenges him to a fight. And all you have to do is press the dummy button. And Drake thinks about it, and sees
You're way over there. I'm way over here.
Dummy. Yeah. Dummy. Yeah. You're a dummy. Dummy. Yeah. You failed. Dummy. Yeah. So Carter smiles and makes his way to the set, and security fights. He beats up security to fight Drake, and Rex tries to beat up EC3, and Jesse Goddard gets him.
Yay.
So, yeah, we're going to have a tag match next week, basically.
Fantastic. EC3 and Jesse Goddard. Ugh. They're breaking up the bromance again, and
Oh, you don't want to know what they're going to do with the bromance. We'll wait until that happens.
Oh, I've seen the spoilers.
Yes.
I might have to throw something in my television next week.
Yeah. First half is with Rex. Was not good. Rex really came off fake, and as you said before the show, he needs a script.
Yes. He's not, he might be a fine, he's a serviceable worker, but as a promo, without, a script, like he was being given with WWE, he's not good.
Oh, no. Yeah, sometimes some people need scripts, and sadly, he's one of them.
Yep.
So, Rebby Hardy plays Matt Hardy and Brother Nero. And
Schroeder, Lucy, and Linus.
Yes, and Matt's like, what do you think of the Tribunal, Brother Nero? They'll fade away and classify themselves as obsolete. obsolete.
Good grief.
And then Matt gets in the ring and says, what the tribunal did last week just looked like two wicked men trying to take the food off the plate of King Maxwell. They tried
And Jeff
to take
Hardy's kids.
food of your kids, Brother Nero. Because of that, they are sentenced to deletion. Delete, delete, delete. So here comes the tribunal with new music, by the way.
Yep.
And their match.
And no Al Snow, by the way.
No Al Snow, yeah. No Al Snow. The tribunal look like guys in all black with black gloves and stuff. And
Sure about
basically a match, and there's a spot where Matt Hardy bites and is bleeding from the mouth. Unfortunately, the guy Baraka, who you could think of the Mortal Kombat character, is not bleeding at all. So where's that blood come from?
Yikes.
Yeah. Did you bite your own tongue, Matt?
He's juicing himself.
Did you accidentally bite your own tongue when you were trying to bite Baraka? Seriously. So they both hit the Twist of Fate on Baraka and get the win. So, and then as they are leaving, the lights go out, and three masked men come out and beat up the tribunal, who are the Death Count Council. Yeah, I gotta get my tongue ready for that one.
Tongue twister.
It's not
alliteration.
It's not easy to say. So yes,
TNA heel faction number 6,332.
Yes, it is another heel faction. A complete heel faction. So the Hardys just look at them and they're like, eh.
And Matt Hardy goes, eh.
Pointing with intrigue. So backstage, Allie is in the mirror practicing a speech to try to tell Maria off.
This segment is so freaking awkward.
And Braxton Sutter comes in and asks if she is okay and says, you know, I don't think you're to blame for all this. And then Laurel Van Ness.
No, you don't.
You don't need to pretend to be nice to her. Allie, Maria's looking for you, and tell Sutter, you look good. We should work out together. So then we get another Fixer ad, and again, call the cops. And they
Child welfare.
And then another message from the DC. The first attack is just the first, because you might remember from the ring, they were last in the ring, and they might have teleported back to their room.
They're Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. They're here to stay. You won't know who or when. We know who. And we do know when, thanks to the tapings, but they're here to stay. So Franklin comes up starting shit with Cody saying, hey, there's a lot of pressure on you tonight, but I don't see the hype in you personally. Hey, all that hype came from Aaron Rex. I destroyed him. And I'm like, you didn't touch him. Never touched Aaron.
He has a good memory of things that didn't happen.
Okay, you might have touched him in that Lethal Lockdown match, and that's it. So, reminds him
and they were teammates in that match.
And Cody's like, you know, it must suck for you that Eddie Edwards beat you. And Franklin's like, you best watch your mouth, or you might not make it to the ring. And I'm like, you know what? We're not going to if we don't cross paths next week, we're going to cross paths sooner or later.
Ugh.
And then leaves.
No, you're not.
Not now. So here comes Maria with Allie the Chipmunk, Earl Van Ness. Oh, of course, and Maria. I did say.
You said Maria.
Yeah. But before that, we got to replay the end of the Knockouts title match. I don't know why we needed to see that again.
Because for whatever reason, every announcer in wrestling history likes to insult the intelligence of the fans and not think we remember something that happened a week ago.
Yeah. So
every promoter in the history of ever.
Josh loves that Maria isn't the head of the Knockouts division, and conspicuous by her absence is Sienna. What happened?
I don't know. What happened?
So Maria is saying there is a conspiracy against me.
Oh God! Somebody called Jesse Ventura.
Because I am the best knockout ever.
No.
And I'm like, I could blame so many other, but right now I'm gonna blame you, Allie.
Yep.
And I should get rid of you for all the crap you've caused. And Laura's like, but who's gonna hold our bags and get our food?
And order your sushi just right, because those are important things.
Yeah. So like, we gotta have someone like that.
Who's gonna be our Virgil?
So Maria's like, you know what? you take blame, Allie, and apologize right now. And Allie's like, no, you're the one who's to blame. And Maria's like, what did you say to me?
What did you say?
What did you say to me? You want to say that?
Like a parent talking to a child who stepped out of line.
You need to be taught a lesson. So Laurel attacks Allie from behind and says, hey, next week you're going to have a match with Laurel Van Ness. And I'm like, you can do that, Maria? I don't think you're head of the knockout submission anymore.
No, she just controls what happens with her women.
I guess so.
Oh, I hate lax stipulations.
You know, Franklin is start shit with Eddie Edwards, and Eddie's like, you want to go, man? You want to go? And he's like, no, I'm not. I'm just here to watch, man. You got lucky. And I'm like, but I beat you. And that sucks, doesn't it, for you? You know what? I'm not afraid of you, Franklin. And he's like, you should be. So then we get Tyrus. Not a Fixer commercial this time, because thankfully no more Fixer commercials. But he's now apparently, and this wasn't said, he's apparently Bob Backlund to Mahabali Shera's Darren Young. He's the life coach, and he tells Mahabali, you can't dance anymore. You want to be the top guy, you can't dance. That gets you nowhere. And I'm like,
you're right.
You're kind of right, but that's the only thing that makes Shera interesting and not good.
It's also the only thing that ever got you over.
So you must face one of the best guys on Impact, and says, and then he leaves and like, I'm going to beat him tonight. And he's like, he's going to need a miracle.
Oh, God.
Next week, EC3 is teaming with Jesse Goddard to take on Rex and Drake in a tag match. And then Mahabali Shera comes out as usual. And, of course, his opponent is the Miracle, who has his music this week.
Yay!
Yay, he has his music this week. That whole shit storm is gone. He has music. So, this match was not good.
It's a Shera match. What do you expect?
Yeah, it is a Shera match.
I like Mike Bennett, but there's only so much you can. You can't. It's what is it? The whole.
Shera's too damn green.
You can't polish a turd. Come on now.
Yeah. So anyway, Shera gets him in the bear hug. Miracle rakes the eyes and hits his finisher, the Miracle in Progress. Stupid finish name. And wins the match.
Yes, you're gonna build this guy up with a new gimmick and a new character, and his first match is a loss.
Well, you might as well.
Yeah.
Well, because he does need to start from somewhere. Then
but
Mackenzie Mitchell,
Darren Young for weeks, and he comes in and gets an IC title shot. This guy just loses.
Yeah. So
for no reason.
Mackenzie Mitchell interviews DJZ asking about Team X Gold, and again he says nothing about what this is.
And here comes Rockstar Spud.
Thank God. Because he's like, this is about different philosophies and style. Let's see who's the best. And I'm like, it's a 6-man tag match. Stop trying to say it is different. It's basically like that scene from Rocky and Bullwinkle where they're like, we can erase people from the future. Well, wasn't that done? It's never been done before. We could finally erase cartoons. And he's like, wasn't that done in Rocky and Bullwinkle? This is different!
Or where Butters tries to end the world and it's everything the Simpsons already did.
Robert De Niro's like, this is different than Roger
Simpsons
Rabbit.
Already did it.
Yeah. No, Roger Rabbit already did it.
Yeah.
With the way to destroy cartoons.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Terrible.
So, yeah, in the real world. So, yes, DJZ.
Oh, by the way, Spud's got partners.
Oh, yeah, Spud's got partners, and the crowd calls him Tater Tot.
Oh, God.
I didn't know Roman Reigns was an icon to this crowd.
Oh, this is Orlando.
I know, seriously. And Spud says, I have a team, and my team is better than X, Y, and Z.
Boo, another bad pun.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yes.
We know who it is. We'll get to that next.
We know who, yes. So, main event time. Commander Cody takes on Eddie Edwards for the title. There's a handshake to start things off, and this match is not terrible.
Cody of Honor. It's just short.
Cody of Honor. Whatever. So, whatever. It's a good, but again, the same thing happens to this, and some people are like, when did Cody have a submission? I'm like, since his dad had one. He's a Rhodes. Whether you like it or not, that's kind of wrestling logic. You pass down moves from one family member to another. It's why Charlotte has the figure 8. It's why Owen Hart had the sharpshooter. Submission wrestling moves, for some surprise reason, are passed down by genes.
And somehow after that, the most random people get them, like The Rock getting the sharpshooter for no reason.
I know, yeah, they create him, yeah, but wrestling logic says some moves can be made, is perfected by genes, genetically. It's weird like that. So it's pretty okay, but here's the problem. Again, the superplex.
Yes.
This is a move that has finished people off, pinned people. My favorite match, the superplex, was the end of the match.
What one was that?
One that probably WWE will not show anymore, which is Wild Pegasus versus Great Sasaki in the finals of Super J Cup.
Oh, Benoit and his Great Pegasus, right?
As Wild Pegasus.
I don't think I've ever actually seen that match.
It is great. It is awesome, and the finish is a suplex off the top rope that you're like, that's it. That's got to be it.
Is that like the back suplex off the top rope?
No, it's a superplex.
Okay.
Superplex.
I'll have to YouTube that because I've never actually seen it.
Great match. So yeah, superplexes do end matches. It makes both wrestlers tired. It's been done. That's why sometimes they don't get. If you pin a guy, they might kick out, but it's after some hesitation because it's considered still.
I always like Barry Windham's superplex where he like float over into the pin.
Oh yeah, but yeah, every one of them would. It's a finisher. It can finish the match, and it does finish this match, but not in the way you want it to.
The problem is that we're desensitized from this era of fans is desensitized from what can be a finish and what can't.
Yeah. So Cody tries to do the pin, but Eddie Edwards somehow gets back to life and locks his legs to Cody's and turns into a 3.
I hate that finish.
I do too. And then they shake hands and end the match, and Eddie leaves to let Cody bathe in the crowds of fans.
And Maria attacks Brandy.
I'd be fine with this, and then Maria comes out, attacks Brandy. She and Miracle laugh as Cody from the entranceway. And I'm like, okay, that last few seconds you didn't need. But no.
Or you could save that for something you use on your website. And this happened after the show went off the air.
Yeah. You could do that, but you know what? They didn't, so this show gets a high C for that.
Yes. Good, decent show. Couple questionable things.
Yeah. Questionable things like the DJZ Roxer Spud segment, the Mike Bent Miracle Shearer match.
Ugh.
The freaking Fixer now being his life coach for whatever
Good God.
reason.
We have nothing to do with either of these two. Let's just put them in an angle for no reason.
Yeah, we got to find something for Tyrus to do.
You've kind of had him in a bodyguard role for the last 2 years.
Yeah, and a thug, and the last match he's gonna have one in the one night only, and that's the only match he has. So we got to have something for him to do.
Yeah.
So I didn't mind Allie finally showing some spine.
Yeah,
but then they kind of screwed it up with Maria having her beat up and basically saying, you're facing Laurel Vanessa next week. They
did the anti-Virgil where he stands up and gets one up on DiBiase instead. Yeah. Oh, and then they have commentary saying, but she can't even wrestle. That doesn't help you.
Oh, no. And the problem is, as we've all said this, Allie can fucking wrestle. It's Cherry Bomb.
It's just that we're not supposed to know that.
Yeah, we're not supposed to know that she can't wrestle, even though as Team TNA in the Lucha World Cup, she was a participant in as Allie. She was on Team USA in the women's one.
Yep.
There was 2 teams, Team USA for
it's just more of, insulting the fans' intelligence.
Yeah, it is. So yes.
Yes.
So, yes, and Billy only got mentioned once in a passing with Maria. So that's basically they're phasing him out. They're phasing him out. So yeah, Dixie Carter's going to remain with the company, even though everybody. plenty of people backstage wanted Billy to get the company, but yeah, that's not going to happen. So that shit's happened. So I guess that's
Dixie
all
heel,
for this
the
show.
biggest Dixie Carter, the biggest heel in wrestling.
So yeah, do you have anything to sell?
Yes, Limitless Wrestling, October the 29th. Who watches The Watchmen? Question mark. And so far aside for this card, we have the House of Glory Elite Champion Anthony Gangone against Xavier Bell. We have a first-time ever match with Slick Wagner Brown against the undefeated Anthony Green. We have the Main State Posse against Tenacious 2 in a Anything Goes match. And in the main event, we have Eddie Edwards taking on Bryan Fury in one of Fury's last matches before he retires at the end of the year. Northeast Wrestling presents Out of Ambush on November 5th, and that's 2 weeks. From Waterbury, Connecticut, the PA, the Wilby High School, and on that card will be, no pun intended, the second annual Rowdy Roddy Piper Memorial Battle Royal. Donovan Dijak takes on TK Orion in a final deletion match. It is Ron Zombie and Broken Matt Hardy against what?
I was laughing. I was snickering.
Yes, I laughed a little bit when I saw that too. Against Team Shazam, which is Dan the Man, Kenny Bangle, and some other guy. And then you also have Cody Rhodes, as he's using the Rhodes name on the Indies, I guess, against Travis Flip Gordon. And the main event is Jeff Hardy challenging Brian Anthony for the NEW title. Plus much more. And the following week on November 12th, Northeast Wrestling presents the second annual King of Bethany, featuring a one-night-only tournament, including Vinny Marcellia taking on Keith Youngblood, Ron Zombie against Wrecking Ball Legursky. I have it in front of me somewhere. I don't have the full lineup. Mike Bennett against Flip Gordon, and much more, plus much more. And that's all I have.
Well, there will be no show next week because Riff Tracks, we'll be doing Carnival of Souls.
So on that note, we will be back
and also we will be doing 2 weeks, and also since we will not be doing next week, I gotta reveal the inductions because the induction of Jaws 3 will be next week also. But I gotta do the poll first, which will be this Saturday, so I better reveal the nominees.
Oh boy.
Transmorphers Fall of Man. Tron gets to see how we got ruled by robots with bad CGI. Halloween 5, Revenge of Michael Myers, a hastily rushed sequel that never answered questions from 4 and left us with more questions. Yep. Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. My least favorite of the original Friday the 13th films, as the only positive is Kane Hodder and one kill. Jack Frost 2, Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman.
Wait a minute, there was a Jack Frost... Oh, it's not with Michael Keaton.
No, it's the Killer Snowman, Jack Frost.
Okay.
A killer snowman in a tropical island would sound too ridiculous to not be fun, but sadly, it is not as good as the first.
Who's in that movie? I might have to look that up.
Nobody you would ever heard of.
Okay, so I won't bother.
Yeah. Thanksgiving 3. The Thanksgiving 2 is just a prop for this film, and the enjoyability of the original cast dealing with a killer turkey is replaced by puppets. Literally.
Oh, God.
Puppets. Twilight Saga, Eclipse. The saga that many consider a betrayal to vampires everywhere and werewolves has another chance for a sequel to the now shitty, infamous induction of New Moon to get inducted here.
One Step Closer.
Munchie. This film was better off ripping off Gremlins, as this one now has one Munchie who has a voice of Dom DeLuise and is a film that only little kids can enjoy.
Oh, no.
Mega Shark vs. Crocosaurus. The Mega Shark is back, And besides having to fight a dinosaur-like crocodile, it also has to contend with Steve Urkel in the Navy.
Did I do that?
Ghoulies 4. You thought any of the other Ghoulies films were at the bottom of the barrel? This film doesn't even have the Ghoulies.
Oh, Lord.
Leprechaun in the Hood. Enjoy as our little Irish monster gets to deal with the ghetto lingo and, oh, so much drugs. Also, Ice-T's in it. Sharktopus versus Terracuda. Proof that this film really could have used a kind of name actor having fun with some booze.
Oh, boy.
Because some of the best parts of Sharktopus was Eric Roberts sitting in a boat with some booze next to him, as he's the main bad guy.
What band is he in, The Cure?
No, Eric Roberts. Brother of Julia Roberts.
Oh, him.
Yeah, not...
That guy.
Yeah.
That sounds awful.
So, yeah, that's all the inductions. And that's all I have this week.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.